JDiv is back at it here to give everyone another UFC predictions videos. We have UFC 264 right around the corner on Saturday, July 10th. Just going to give my predictions for the main card and mention that Carlos Condit is on the prelims, and I get excited for Carlos Condit. Before I get into my predictions, though, if you know anybody that would be interested in this, make sure you share the video with them. Smash that like button if you're a fan of UFC or MMA. Leave me a comment in the comments section about your predictions or any future predictions that you have for any UFC bouts that have already been speculated or confirmed. And of course, make sure you hit that sub button and subscribe to this channel. Without further ado, let's talk about my predictions for UFC 264. So, starting off in the UFC bantamweight division, we have Sugar Sean O'Malley, and he's facing Luis Smolka. I mean, I don't want to underestimate any fighter, but Sean O'Malley right now is on a different level. Granted, he lost one of his previous fights, but he got hurt in that fight. And I think Sean O'Malley is a sniper in this division. A sleeper. He might have a title shot after one more fight, assuming he wins this fight. With that in mind, I am going to predict Sean O'Malley to win this fight because I do think he will. And I hate to underestimate Smolka. He's got talent, but I just think Sean O'Malley right now is going to be too much of a handful for Luis Smolka. Next up in the women's bantamweight division, we have Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. And I think Kunitskaya is going to win this fight because she was really good in her last fight. She did some things that I think she hadn't done before. Her and Thiago Santos are working pretty hard. And Irene Aldana, granted she's the favorite at the moment, I just think that Kunitskaya is just going to be a handful. And that's my prediction. I might not be right, but I have a good feeling about it. In the UFC heavyweight division, we have Greg Hardy versus Tai Tuivasa. I think this one could actually go either way. Tuivasa right now is the favorite. I really think he's a little overrated. I know he drinks out of his boot. That's a great gimmick. I think Greg Hardy's going to win. Do I want Greg Hardy to win? No, I really don't like Greg Hardy at all. I think he's a piece of shit, but I think he, with each fight, gets more experience with MMA, and he learns some things, and I think he has the power to put Tuivasa to sleep, and I think that's going to be what happens. Like I said, I wouldn't be upset if I was wrong, but I just think Greg Hardy's going to win. Keep in mind, these are contenders in a weak division. The heavyweight division as a whole is kind of weak until we get some new blood, until John Jones gets in and other heavyweights gets in and makes it more exciting. Otherwise, it's the Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis, and Stipe Miocic division, and that's what I think about that. So I'm predicting Greg Hardy, but again, I won't be upset if he loses. And in the co-main event in the evening, in the UFC welterweight division, we have Wonderboy Stephen Thompson versus former title contender Gilbert Burns. This is a very close fight. I think both these guys are very well-rounded. Stephen Thompson is really good with the stand-up. So is Gilbert Burns, though. Thompson is a slight favorite. I really think Gilbert Burns is going to win. He rocked Kamaru Usman and almost had that fight, I think. Well, Usman is a beast, but he clearly rocked him. And I think he could do the same against Wonderboy. And I'm picking Gilbert Burns. I won't be upset if Burns loses because I think these guys are both great competitors. I just think Burns is very good. And a lot of people are sleeping on this guy. And he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in this division. And then, of course, in the main event of the evening, the top draw, we have Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor 3. I'm not sure what the winner gets, if they get an automatic title shot, or if Conor McGregor wins, he calls out Nate Diaz, or Dustin Poirier wins, he calls out Charles Oliveira, or possibly Justin Gaethje. I don't know. I'm assuming the winner gets a title shot. In the second encounter, I predicted Conor McGregor to win. Just so you guys know, if you didn't know already, I'm not the biggest Conor McGregor fan. I think he's entertaining, but he's doing too much other stuff outside the octagon, and I think that takes away from like his nostalgia. With that said, I watched the second fight over again today, and I saw that the only thing that really stopped McGregor were those calf kicks. If he can combat those calf kicks and maybe avoid any takedowns, which the takedown that Poirier got in the last fight, it didn't really do anything, but it kind of changed the tone and the pace of the fight. I do think Conor McGregor wins this fight because a lot of people are sleeping on him now. They think he's washed up. And keep in mind, Conor McGregor's only won one fight at this weight class, 155, and that was against the former champion, Eddie Alvarez. I think he beats Poirier. I don't know how, and that's nothing against Dustin Poirier. Just watching that second fight, McGregor connected a lot. I think the calf kicks were the problem. If he can do something to avoid as many calf kicks and keep the fight stood up instead of having to, back against the cage when he's on the ground, I think Conor's going to win this fight. But again, I won't be unhappy if Dustin Poirier wins, especially if he knocks him out again. And we'll see what happens. But I assume if Poirier wins, he calls out Charles Oliveira. If Conor wins, he could call out Oliveira. Or he could just say, you know what, Nate Diaz, motherfucker, I want to fight you again because we need a trilogy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. And Carlos Condit, who's on the prelims. Like I said before, though, if you're a fan of the UFC, make sure you smash that like button. If anybody that you know would be interested in this, make sure you share it with them. Leave me plenty of comments with your predictions on this card or any other cards or fights that have been confirmed. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. Keep watching UFC, and JDev will return.